Good evening to those who will listen. It's April 5th, 2019, 9:42 p.m. Got this thing going faster than I thought it would. I always try to set a time ahead of time when I think it'll be ready to go. And most of the time it takes longer, but this time it was pretty quick. Don't know why. All right, so Donald Trump and the United States peace plan is set to be revealed on May 15th, 2019, and it will be the 71st anniversary of Nakba. And it also is the anniversary of Israel's independence. So May 14th of last year was when it was their 70-year anniversary of them receiving the land, and then Independence Day was the next day. So it's the first day, and it ends the 70th year. Is that significant? It ends that 70 years, which some people consider a generation. This generation shall not pass. I don't know. So let's just read a little bit of this. The United States President Donald Trump is most likely to reveal, and this has been delayed so many times. There's so many announcements when it was supposed to happen, and it just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. Supposed to, likely, it says most likely. Well, we've heard that before. Middle East peace plan, known as the Deal of the Century, on the 71st anniversary of Nakba on Thursday. So the U.S. administration told Arab and Gulf officials that the peace plan would be revealed on May 15th on Nakba Day, when Palestinians commemorate the Nakba, or catastrophe, when an estimated 750,000 Palestinians were forcibly expelled from their homes when the State of Israel was created. And it also is Israel's Independence Day. Sources mention that the U.S. administration already completed the plan and secured the funds needed to implement its economic policies. And it was originally supposed to have been announced right after the Israeli elections, which they expect Netanyahu to win. And of course, when they reveal this deal of the century, they're expected to have mass protests across the occupied West Bank. And the Palestinians don't even recognize Trump's plan or the United States' role in this peace plan. And I got another report over here. This one came from Mayan News Agency. And I can't get to go over here. What's going on? This one comes from, can't get the other, there we go. This one comes from, come on, where's it? I don't know if I'm going to be able to pronounce this right. What happened? Do, any day now. What the? Why can't it load the name of this site? It's almost, there we go. Our Roots Shiva. Israeli National News. Okay, so we got Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates also participating. Now, this deal would have a lot of land swapping and money changing hands here. Okay, come on. I had this thing all ready to go, and now it has to load again. So, as I said on the other report, they've already lined up all the funds needed for all the Arab countries. All right, so the Arab countries partners are Egypt, Arabia, even the United Arab Emirates. And of course, senior Hamas officials said that setting that date of the declaration of the anniversary of the Nakba is a slap in the face to all those who still see America as a fair mediator in resolving this conflict. So there's probably going to be a lot of protests that day and the days following up and the days after too. So Arab commentators and officials warn their peoples that Trump's deal will be the elimination of the Palestinian dream and will include an Arab concession of territory for the benefit of the state of Israel. Well, they both have to compromise on this. So the deal would include land swaps between Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt, and economic aid to Palestinians by Saudi Arabia by the United Arab Emirates. The deal also includes the pipeline, plans to lay a pipeline from Saudi Arabia to the Gaza Strip and to build refineries in Gaza to add jobs for the residents, and in the future, even the construction of desalination plants. So during the deal, Jordan will give land to the Palestinians and return it will receive territory from Saudi Arabia. Egypt will return to Saudi Arabia 2 islands in the Red Sea, which the latter gave to Egyptian administration in 1950. So, is this May 15th date significant? Well, yes, of course. We just went through that. But is there something else that May 15th could be? It's kind of strange. It ends Israel's 70th year anniversary and starts their 71st year of independence. All right, so there's that. Now, people have been trying to figure out, when the tribulation is going to start, and if maybe it's already started. And I've been looking at some things too. And just to say right off the bat, I'm predicting a possibility. I'm not saying this is, going to be the day, when the rapture or when the tribulation starts, or the midpoint of the tribulation, or even when the rapture could be. Nobody knows the day or the hour. Now, in the Bible, when it says that, nobody knows the day or the hour, I believe that refers to the rapture, not necessarily the start or midpoint of the tribulation. Maybe we can figure that out, the start and the midpoint of the tribulation. After that, things could become, what's the word I want? Blurry or so. All right. So now there's been people who have thought that maybe the Revelation 12 sign with the woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet and 12 stars of crown on her head, that Revelation 12 sign was the start of the tribulation. So that was September 23rd, 2017, which I got here in this calculator here. Now remember, I'm not saying that this is the start of the tribulation. It's possible. It could be. And, obviously, we don't know for sure. But if we add 1,260 days to the September 23rd, 2017, which is 3.5 years, this would be the midpoint of the tribulation, would be March 6th, 2021. And I wrote all this down, so I'm trying to go through it all. So, going from that, March 6, 2021, if that was the midpoint of the tribulation, then we could also calculate when Daniel's 70 weeks starts and ends. Now, that, again, is just a speculation. It's a possibility. I'm not saying it is, because lots of people have already said that Daniel's 70 weeks has already been fulfilled. But what if it isn't? Because I keep thinking about Daniel and how it refers to the end of days. But, there's been speculation that the 70 weeks was actually 70 years, or even 490 years. But I'm just going to take it as maybe, this is just going from this possibility, I have to keep stressing that maybe it's actually 70 weeks and not 70 years. Or, the 490 days is not 490 years. Maybe it's actually the 490 days. So if we take that as literal, then we go in here. First, we got to subtract. So then we got to take, what did we say? March 6th, 2021. March 6th. 6th. And then we subtract 490 days, come up with this. November 2nd, 2019. Now, Daniel's 70 weeks starts with the commandment to restore and rebuild Jerusalem unto the Messiah. I should have put that one up there too. I don't remember exactly. Daniel, was it Daniel 7, Daniel 9, where it says that? I should have put that up there. I bet I can't pause this. But now this would be November 2nd, 2019, if Daniel's 70 weeks is in play, and if the start of the tribulation was the Revelation 12 sign, September 23rd, 2017. So November 2nd would be, if this was, the actual days, just saying this is a possibility. So don't get all crazy that I'm trying to predict dates, because I'm just throwing possibilities out there. So November 2nd would be the commandment to go out. So this May 15th is just to reveal the peace plan. Doesn't mean that Israel and the Palestinians are going to sign the peace deal right then. It could be a lot after. It could be any time after that, really. And the peace plan doesn't have to necessarily be signed for them to have the commandment to rebuild Jerusalem and the city and the wall and the streets. So that's just saying that. And I also figured out dates from the eclipse day, which would have been 32 days prior to the Revelation 12 sign. And I have dates too. It would be 3.5 years would make it February 1st, 2021. And then if you minus the 490 days, the 70 weeks, it would be September 30th of 2019 would be the commandment. Now that's, all that too. And then the daily sacrifice would actually start. This is just possible dates. It's just if the commandment, Daniel 70 weeks, started on November 2nd, 2019, the daily sacrifice would start on February 28th, 2021, and then stopped. The daily sacrifice would be stopped March 2nd or 3rd, 2021. And then something else I found interesting. Let me put May 15th back in here. May 15th of this year. And then I need to figure this out so I know how many days. But if you added 171 days, I got to add again to that. Here's what we come up with. Boom, November 2nd, 2019. Now I figured that out from the November 2nd and subtracted it to the May 15th. But it is kind of strange because we got the 71. 71 is 71st year. May 15th would be the 71st, starting the 71st year of Israeli independence. I don't know, it's just a weird thing I saw. I'm not saying that that means anything either. But there we go. So I'm just saying there's a possibility that if the start of the tribulation started on September 23rd, 2017, the Revelation 12 sign, I'm not saying that that's the day that it started, but if it was, that would possibly mean that Daniel's 70 weeks would start on November 2nd, 2019, which is literally May, June, July, August, September, October, November, would be less than 6 months from now. And that would be approximately 2 years before the midpoint of the tribulation. Remember, these are all just speculations, all possibilities. I'm not saying that it is. And, do we know the day or the hour of when the tribulation starts and the midpoint starts? I don't know. But it doesn't say in the Bible that. It says that we don't know the rapture day or hour. And again, I'll explain really quick here. Don't want to go on forever. But the reason that we might not know the day or the hour of the rapture is if the midpoint of the tribulation, there's a pole shift and, third of the people die, and, our infrastructure is going to be gone. There won't be no electricity, no banks, no credit cards, no internet. Everything will be in dismay, and, we won't be able to keep track of time. That's one thing. And then if there is a pole shift, the earth is going to stop, and then it's going to be restarted back up. And when it does, it's slowly going. So our days are going to be even longer at that point. And then it's going to gradually, the earth is going to speed up again. And then in the Bible, it says that, 1/3 of the day and 1/3 of the night will be gone. If that was true, we'd have 16-hour days eventually once the earth started spinning again. And if it was calculated that way from the Bible, if you'd say that we only have 2/3 of the day, that would only have 16-hour days. It would be nearly impossible to calculate, probably impossible, to calculate when the day or the hour of the rest of the whole 3.5 years, the second half of the 3.5 year tribulation would end. And then it says also in the Bible, lest those days be shortened. And what was the exact thing for that? The days will be shortened. Well, if the days are shortened, from the actual 3.5 years would be shorter. It would be 1/3 of that. And we would never know exactly that day or that hour because of the time that it takes the earth to start spinning and to when it's spinning faster, and we're only having 16-hour days. This is all speculation and all possibilities. I just wanted to throw that out there because it is possible. It says in the Bible that we don't know the day or the hour of the rapture, but that doesn't mean we can't calculate the start of the tribulation and the midpoint of the tribulation. And that's how I see it. And that's just how I see it. That's up to you to decide. And always don't believe me. I'm not saying that this is for sure anyway. It's just a possibility. But don't believe me. Always go to God. Always go to the Holy Spirit for discernment in these things. In the end days, we are supposed to know more things. Things will be revealed to us. We will be given understanding. We will have dreams and visions. So the closer we get, the more will be revealed. And, maybe this is possible. Especially if we are like 2 years away from the midpoint of the tribulation. And right now, there's a lot going on, but most people don't even recognize anything happening. Like everything seems to be normal to them. If you came up with a day and started saying, hey, it's 2 years to the midpoint of the tribulation, people would think you're crazy because it doesn't seem like we're anywhere near it, at least in some things. With the weather and the way earthquakes and volcanoes and all that's going on, yeah. But, there's still things that need to be done the setting up of the mark of the beast, we have to have something that happens. And I think it could be the pole shift. And again, the pole shift could happen before the midpoint of the tribulation too. Because it says in the Bible, well, here's another scary thought too. In the Bible, it says that Israel will have the commandment to restore and rebuild Jerusalem. Well, right now, I mean, they've already had the announcement before that they were going to rebuild the streets and widen the streets. But, there has to be something that happens for them to be able to rebuild it. So maybe the pole shift happens before November 2nd of 2019. And then they announce it on that day. Say it happens a couple months. Say it happens in July. There's a pole shift. And then, after a couple months, they finally say, okay, we're going to restore and rebuild Jerusalem. Just throwing out possibilities there. So let me know what you think. I'm not saying that this is, going to happen this way and on those days, but just throwing it out there. Possibility. All right. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. God bless. And give Jesus, Yeshua, thank you for everything He's doing in your life. And keep strong in the faith. Keep going. And keep looking to the sky, for our redemption draweth nigh. We are really close to Jesus coming back and taking His bride back to heaven. Thanks for watching. God bless.